yes, and that, I don't know.
Okay, we're live. You should see it in about 40 seconds.
Have you heard anything from Dark Cloud yet?
Dark Cloud?
Kale.
He's not in the meeting. Someone should try to talk to him.
He's muted.
He's muted.
Oh, I see him. He can probably hear us. Kale, I'm just going to leave you muted. I don't want to hear you. Let's see if I can figure out how to turn you off. Off mute, I mean.
Well, as long as you're not trying to turn him on.
Oh, jeez. I can see where it says you're muted, Kale, but I can't. Oh, maybe right there. You can't unmute someone else, it says, right on my screen.
Can he unmute himself? Is he muted?
Can you request to be unmuted? No? I can see him like shaking his head and stuff.
He hasn't muted himself.
So I think it's because what's on the screen is that camera and not the computer. Somehow if I can get the computer to drive, I ought to be able to do it. But Jess will know how to do that better than me.
Did you read that article?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Kale, I'm going to add you. Oh, and here's Jess to make sure I'm not doing it wrong. I'm adding you as a co-host, so you ought to be able to unmute yourself if I do that. Look, it's.
What does that mean, Dark? So you've try muting all the speakers, which is done with the button on the keyboard. And Kale, start talking.
Try that, Kale. Oh,
Yeah. There we go.
Did you mute him?
I pushed that F1 button.
And it didn't mute him.
It didn't mute him.
Well, if he's a co-host, maybe it doesn't.
No.
He's hard to mute.
There's a little pop-up that says mute Josh Martin for everyone in the call, question mark, only Josh Martin can unmute themselves. I don't know, I don't want to mute him for everyone
How's
else.
Vegas?
Cancel.
No snow?
It's not working. We're gonna get the beeps.
Oh.
Cool. We're gonna deal with them again then.
I thought I got a shot for the beat.
I've got a skiff on the ground, Kale, probably maybe less than an inch, I'd say. It's pretty wet and slippery on the roads.
We got over a quarter of an inch of rain before it started snowing.
It was coming down pretty last night.
What is that?
Spots.
You can't see them, clouds are in the way.
They got trees and stuff.
Yeah, there's some rocks up there.
I can tell you, do not have enough. How much I can say.
Salt Lake's getting pounded though, and then they might get hit with the lake effect as well. So kind of like a dark cloud.
Night 8 of the NFR, is that
Did
right?
you show up today? Did you see Stetson get on 3 last night? Three
Does it matter
bulls
where?
in this in
You're
like
somewhere.
well, the first time he didn't nod and they opened the gate. The second time his bull kind of fell down on the front end on its legs, and then the third one he scored a 90 point. But I think that was just a pity one because it was kind of a semi-eliminator. Josh Frost was the first one to ride, and he only scored a 50.
That was working.
Bull didn't buck, and he kept that score. So him and 50.
Okay.
Yeah, his bull. So they offered him a reride, and he said, I ain't taking a reride, nobody's rode yet. So it turned out that there was only
I have access to the
road, and that was
posted online.
So he ended up with $44,000 for a 50-point bull ride. And then Stetson got like 40-something thousand for his ride.
Oh, the final, night 10.
Hi guys. This is Erda City Council meeting.
No.
Can we try upstairs?
Come on, Coons, can't you get your stuff together?
We're here, we're trying.
How are ya?
Ryan, how are you doing?
Good.
So I guess I should entitle this Erda City Council, Erda Council meeting?
We're calling you back.
I'm not stonewalling you. I had to.
$4,500 map.
Oh, that's the map, huh? County approved it yet?
They have not seen it yet. I got it minutes ago.
Yeah, if you don't talk to me, then I gotta find old things, you said.
We'll go find old things and fire up the bus and run me over, huh?
And this
That'd be nice to you.
Oh, I know. And hey,
long
if I'd have got back with you in a timely manner, I'd had something different. I am gonna go grab.
Where are we approving minutes right after the pledge? Corey?
Mr. Recorder, A, right after the pledge.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
put that. I would also ask that we put ordinance adoption next to, land use and zoning.
You wanna make a motion? Make it official
A formal one? No.
once we start the meeting?
I think it just
No,
means
I think-
alphabetically for the
I think our
future.
chairperson can say we're just gonna move item C next to.
Where?
Not
H?
H, because those two are really gonna go, I mean, it's gonna be pretty short, anything I gotta say there, but
C is going where?
next to H, and kinda maybe I'll even run a little bit of them together.
Okay. So I'm gonna say we're gonna merge C and H.
Yeah, we'll run those a little bit together, because I think those are really gonna go hand in hand.
I live with a barber. I don't know if you knew
Oh,
that or not.
so you get a haircut like twice a week?
How come we only have 4 chairs?
Did Jolene move out?
Tails in Nevada.
Oh,
He's at the rodeo.
that's right, he went to the, so where are you sitting, where am I
You're
sitting?
here. Can I ask you to sign this? Submit the map tomorrow.
Oh,
The map is right here.
I just sign it anywhere, huh?
Just right
Next to
there.
me if you want.
Jess, you were saying that I wanna keep notes on hair, I can't.
Yes.
Just do it on, should I just do it this way tonight?
No,
Here.
have you got your YouTube going?
I did. I turned it off. My reception down here sucks, so it's like,
Oh, you gotta get on the Wi-Fi.
Short
well, that's true. I didn't get on the Wi-Fi. I didn't know that was an option.
Okay, good.
Wi-Fi, TC guest.
Here's the, kind of the skinny was like this Blaisdell Church in Johnson. It was 150
I want you to, if you got the battery.
an hour for general.
I'll keep it
matters, and then 300 for specialty services.
Okay.
And then it's
I'll
about
still take the password.
Yeah, you're looking.
5 to 105. They're also open to a retainer option. Like we just paid so much a month.
But just open to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gonna talk.
they're not calling for one.
no, they said if
Will
we.
you get a text?
They
Yeah.
could.
I think they said they
5,000.
were not to do that,
They
right?
said they were
Let's
open
see,
in this year,
on 1X.
45,000
Now on 4G, 1 bar.
annually, 20 for litigation and 25 for civil service.
Was that 45,000?
The rule is,
Yeah.
That
as long
was.
as you don't cover every portion of this window, it stays active.
And this
It's on maximize.
200.
Right there
If you
should be
cover, if you cover even that, it stops streaming.
So,
Basically, if I use that square right there.
and just like we've said all along, she would be like the litigator, like municipality deal. So they'd require 2.
Oh,
Whereas a firm does their own thing, you know what I mean?
One day I'm gonna have to have some
Here's all that stuff.
technology. This takes too
I am
much
gonna,
time.
I'm glad Craig walked into this comment. I'm gonna take minutes
Based on
in this time and mess them up a little bit.
Okay.
they don't prefer.
Hear that, Craig?
What's that? So I read the minutes
There's
for
another,
that last meeting, I thought they were good.
just barely.
This is what I was-
I could,
To organize them a little bit more is all I think.
I don't even know,
Litigation.
I think they were fine.
Hearing it
Oh, really?
different.
It mostly, I had pretty much everything that we said.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Which is kind of.
I mean, the 5 of you, if you want them more organized or if you want a different format,
I
I,
did the same.
like, I think I said in the email that I thought I did a good job capturing.
Yeah, they have
it. It's just how you guys want.
Yeah. So maybe I don't understand this right. when she
The way it's said is the way it should be presented.
The 8,000 a month.
Like in the one you sent me, it had, every time there was a speaker, there was like a new line slash paragraph, right? Mine
Well,
was more
not
paragraph
every
style.
time.
How I had it in mind.
A lot of times,
That's what she felt like
and that's
she needed,
the way she kind of wrote them.
8,000 a month.
Anytime someone stated something, said who it was,
Monthly.
you
I did that
largely, you
in-
largely did the same thing.
In the body of the paragraph, I put Scott colon, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I
So I-
understood that a little bit then.
I thought it was.
I thought.
Well, I'm happy for feedback if
$8,000 a month.
anybody's particular about how whatever happens. Maybe I'll watch some type of YouTube video.
You'll get this in your,
Well, yeah. Maybe we should ask
Kelly got it.
Scott and Terry,
Scott and Terry, did you
What?
guys ever read the minutes?
What's a minute?
Okay, how about we don't do the minutes?
Okay,
If they haven't read them, I've read them, did you read them?
yeah.
Is there
Are
a
we
drop-
supposed to
Mine's
read
done.
them? Where do we get the minutes?
Is that online?
It is online, so when you get them all done and typed up, you should email them to all of us, so we can make any edits we have to make before we post them.
last time I didn't even take them, I just left, because it was on Jess's computer, I just left them there, so.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for feedback, I wanted to,
Interesting, are you, my buddy
Anything
Corey
wrong
over
with them?
here?
I couldn't
Let's
see
see.
anything wrong with them.
I would trust Corey with all the money
oh
that's
geez,
in my pocket.
a whole 50 cents.
I see.
I think you're 25 cents
I'm
over.
glad you're on the attorney.
So,
And I would trust you with a whole lot more, Corey.
can Kel hear us? Because it might be good to ask him before.
Kale hears us through these mics.
Yeah, but is he on, can hear us right now? Did you read the minutes by chance?
Scott, I don't think,
He's not reading minutes.
I don't think it's a thing about trust, it's more about just me being accurate. It could be that I had a typo, or that I misspoke, or, right, so.
Well,
I can send them right now.
typos are something that I'm not gonna be particularly good at, but I'm not gonna be particularly,
I'm just looking for feedback on a format. If you guys like it to look differently, so it's easier to read or whatever, feel free to tell me.
so we have to post, the
Our typo
recording
was a blood
online.
type.
That's right.
But we also have to have written minutes that we approve, that we all said, yes, this is representative of our discussion, and those get posted online also.
Okay.
This time I'll send them to all 5 of you.
And I don't know if it really matters that much if we,
How long would it take to read them if we just read them now?
It was 7 pages last time.
Is it on, do you have it on book?
Do I have it on book? No.
I mean, it's on book.
Hey,
I'm,
sure
all
it's
I'm doing,
cheap.
what I do here is the limit of my
Yes, you did.
help. I'm
Is-
not storing
Is
these,
everyone
that's all.
gathering signatures on this Oakley plan?
So we can listen to them on our
Bullets
way
loaded
home in the
in my
truck.
district.
Is that
You
right?
could listen to them on the way home.
Interesting.
They got the wrong ballots.
Happened a lot. A lot of people didn't say nothing. I got the ones fixed that I needed,
That Rhodes deal.
or that.
Did you send me a Rhodes deal?
Yeah, right after you sent me
How you
the
doing, Keith?
Yeah, you doing good.
Rhodes.
Probably didn't.
or Clover.
I probably didn't put it there.
Well, I thought the first time we met was at Nick's house.
Oh, okay.
In the garage. And I saw you a couple weeks ago before a meeting. Yeah. Mr. All-Star, right?
No, I haven't done as good with my second book. I only did about 2, 3.
Okay.
But the problem is,
I'm at 0 with my second book, so you're doing way better than me.
Well,
yeah,
It's a snow and a few things and some family
Obtain
activity.
liability insurance.
Yeah.
They've got to get their own liability insurance.
oh, what I'm saying.
Kale, I just sent you an email. See if you can open them minutes.
Potholes and all,
For my kids, I have to big priority.
it's that pothole.
It's going to a concert of
And that damage
time for the trombone and then
Yeah, that's what I mean.
last night.
Rush Valley has to, the liability insurance.
Which don't make sense.
Lots of things.
Cannot do anything. If something happens.
This is interesting.
He's
People
gonna,
responsible.
he's gonna be here. Ryan is, so. He's gonna go for one of them.
Well, he better hurry up.
It might be a blizzard.
It's getting a little bit.
I broke out the truck.
that's the thing, we can always move whatever we want on the agenda, it's there. if he's coming late or if he doesn't make, we're,
Have we got him first on the agenda?
We can almost get to
he's
it.
up there pretty close.
He's after public comment, which is gonna be pretty short tonight.
Is this yours or mine?
I'll put a 1 out.
That's yours.
And that's the new one.
40 was
All right, somewhere on here,
Waldo?
You suppose that any of us are gonna be able to read that writing?
no.
Where's Waldo?
This is supposed to be on a 2436.
Parcel of land.
It really
I know.
put it by the 26th.
Oh,
That's how I
Yeah.
can tell. I
okay.
got the little what you call it.
Checking the time, 6:59. I'm gonna sit down.
You doing, Keith?
That's the annoying sound you wanna get rid of.
Yeah, I'd like to, but
What does that mean?
someone just joined us.
Oh,
Someone wants to join is what it means. I have to admit. Jeff McNeil.
Here we go.
Asked me.
Well, Mr. Chairman, it is 7 o'clock.
All right. Just a reminder, everybody's got to turn on microphones in order to
When we
speak.
talk.
Yep. And try not to cup around the microphone, that will cause feedback. So just get right up on it, talk on it. All right. This meeting will come to order. Thanks for coming out tonight. We'll start with a roll call. We'll start out with our remote attendant. Cale Martin, are you here? Okay. Terry Miner?
Here.
Scott Durbay?
Here.
Jess Bird is here. And Craig Smith.
Here.
All right. We are all here tonight. Oh, and we also have our interim temporary recorder who's made it very clear to me that he does not want to be permanent. Corey Warnick.
I think it's automatic after the second.
All right, we're all here. We've got a quorum. Let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Smith, would you mind leading us?
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we want to start off this meeting with public comment. We'll attempt to get any that are online, but we'll open it up to who is here first. From the public, who wants to talk to us tonight?
if you're up there, you gotta speak.
Only if it goes a long time.
Right. Okay, just by the way, we do have some maps up here on the table. These are the plat map that we intend to submit to the county tomorrow. We'll have more on that later, but if you want to pick one up, they'll be there. I don't believe we have any way to put that online, but I will be posting it to the Utah Public Notice website as an attachment. Just a reminder, whoever wants to get notices about these meetings, wants to see minutes as they're adopted and posted, and other things, this is a site that you can get notifications on. We don't know how well the notifications are working right now, but Anyway, I will be posting meeting minutes, and I will attempt to put the map up there tonight. You might, I don't have the URL off the top of my head, but you might Google Utah Public Notice website. All right. Just a point of order here. We're going to be merging items C and H and putting them further down on our agenda. And we would be starting off with roads. Do we have Brian Johnson here?
No, but, sorry.
Chairman, we better ask, make sure there's no public comment online.
Oh, good point. Thank you, Councilman. Recorder, do we have anybody raising hands, comments?
We only had one other participant online and they've left, so there's nobody online right now.
Okay, all right.
Moving on then.
Moving right along.
Turned off that many people already.
Yep.
So, Terry and I have been working on our question about the roads. Brian Johnson will have, when he comes, we need to quiz him about roads and about finance and about clerks and about everything. So he doesn't necessarily fit only with us. So when he gets here, I would say we'll just use him when it seems like we can fit him in, and he'll make comments about everything.
So do you wanna wait till the end to start talking about everything?
I don't think so. Do you? I think Brian will tell us what they've been doing.
Okay.
And how it's worked out for them. Because, you know, we've had talks with the sheriff's department and with the roads department and with the garbage contract. And it would be good to know how well this has worked for Rush Valley. So on the roads, Terry's gonna say more about this than me, because he actually sat down with them and talked about what it would take to get Tooele County to continue maintaining the roads and doing snow removal and stuff like that, just the way they have been.
I was in that meeting as well.
Oh, that's right, you were.
Yep. I was a tag along.
So, you're up.
Well, the short part of that is that they pretty much said, keep your fuel tax with us and we'll continue doing all what we've been doing. The only difference is that it used the weed control and the clearing of the shoulders used to be part of that roads and ground. Now it's contracted out to a different party. So I contacted them to see what a price would be for that part, but they have yet to get back to me. But Scott and I are gonna sit down with on the county work meeting on next week and go over these very issues.
Okay. Yeah, so essentially it means we think we can work out a deal with the county so that they'll just continue maintaining the roads, and we'll continue to let the taxes that they've been drawing out of our property taxes go to them.
Gas taxes.
Yes. Yeah,
The B and C road funds.
right. Am I not talking loud enough? There's Brian.
All right.
Brian, are you on a schedule? Do you need to go first, or? Whatever. Nice looking hat he's wearing. I have 3 of them.
But it's like the county roads crew told us too, is that they can say what they want, but anything that we agree to or whatever has to go through the county council for approval. So they get the final say.
Yeah. So,
And just, that's gonna be with anybody we approach in the county for services. That's how it'll be. The council will have to approve that.
do we have a figure?
They don't do
On
it
that?
like that.
They
have
the
a
roads
general
department will
budget.
not give us a figure. Their deal that they're proposing and what they propose that we draw up in an interagency agreement is that they get to keep our miles, our road tax, and they will keep providing services as is.
But his budget isn't set up like snow removal, plus salt, plus this, plus that. It's like a general fund that they get all of that money and then allocate it as needed. Some kind of formula, this times this equals that.
So, does anybody know? We were in a meeting with, I think all were in that meeting with Tom Tripp. Didn't he say that there's a sales tax on fuel that's divided up amongst your community from within the community, but then there's a certain amount of it that's shared by the whole state? Isn't that what he said?
And I didn't think that was just fuel he was talking about. I thought that was sales tax generally.
That's sales
Oh.
tax generally, which would be a
Oh.
different pool of money than this.
Oh, yeah, it would. So, but that must be coming from the state generally, because there's not enough fuel stops in Erda to pay for anything, so. So that's gotta be,
So-
that's gotta be what he's talking about.
And I believe it's doled out by mile, by center line mile.
Yeah, the way it works is when you go buy a gallon of gas or fuel anywhere in Utah, 40-something cents goes into the Class B and C road funds.
Okay.
Well, A, B, and C. And then the state allocates, you have so many miles of this category road, you get paid so much per mile out of the gas tax. And that's where the B and C road funds will come from.
And so where I'm headed with this, does that cover all of the costs of all of the roads in Tooele County and Tooele City and Grantsville City, or does the county and the city have to supplement that?
No, the county says they don't care about what area it's in, they get forward of that road type thing. It doesn't matter if it's in Erda, Stansbury, or whatever, they get that.
But does the gas sales tax, the gas tax, does it cover it, I wonder? But I guess,
I would guess it's supplemented somehow, somewhere, sometimes. The general maintenance, I think, yes, that's where the vast majority of it comes from, is that particular fund.
But it fluctuates year to year, like one year they might do more snow removal than another. So it's not like I said, it's like an average.
Yeah, and some years they get more money than others. When things are slow and people aren't buying as much gas, they get less in funds because there's less money coming from it.
but we're probably not gonna have to really worry about that because if they agree to do it for that amount of tax that we get from that fuel tax, then they'll do it for that. We're not gonna have to worry about,
No.
okay, we've got this big snow year, we gotta come up with another $40,000, so,
They get what they get.
okay,
That's correct.
that makes sense to me.
Yeah, depending on county approval, I think that's the way to go.
As soon as we get that weed thing figured out. see
But
if they'll-
we do have an expert to comment on that. Before we move forward, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is we ought to adopt the minutes that we had from our two previous meetings. Are we ready to vote on that, Councilman? To adopt our previous minutes?
I haven't read them.
Okay. We can defer and not adopt them.
Let's table that to the next business meeting so
All right.
everyone has a chance to read them.
Okay?
I don't think it's gonna matter if we defer them for 2 weeks.
The minutes that are posted on the Utah Public Notice website are in draft form.
Sound good?
Yeah,
Okay,
good, well said, well said.
all right.
Like he's a politician.
Your mic was off for that, right? I think we'd like to invite up Ryan Johnson unless we want to
Oh, sure, that's
push him
good.
down the line. Okay, Mr. Johnson.
So, I apologize for being late.
Could
Roads were a little,
That
Maybe
mic on.
turn that mic on.
Like he needs.
whoops, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize, the roads were a little icy coming out of Rush Valley and
We're glad you're here.
a little late, so, okay, I joined in a little late, but here's a guy's name and number, Utah, Department of Transportation, B&C Road Funds.
Okay.
I don't know what you wanna do, but this is what we've done. We've mapped out our community, laid out which roads are gravel, which roads are pavement, asphalt, improved, and then, this guy, he inventories and tells you how much you're gonna get from your B and C road money. And that, be cautious. B and C road money, so for the town of Rush Valley, I get approximately around 50,000 a year. In the 13 years I've been doing it, I think we started out at 45,000, and in 10 years I've getting about 50 now. So it does not keep up with inflation and costs and all that. So, you know, there's not as much money coming from this B and C road money than what you think. There is, I just caught some of your conversation. There is other money out there, grant money that you can go after, DOT. You know, there's some money out there that you can go after and use. So
These types of grants, are they often for projects or for maintenance?
it depends. So the county, so in COG, which is the Council of Governments, we passed a third quarter sales tax revenue, and that is specifically for roads. And it's a sales tax, but we're building a fund. But then that COG, the mayors and the county council from the county and mayors of the county, we all have a vote, and we just divvied up some of that money last year to the different areas of the county. So like, for instance, Rush Valley, we got $300,000, which is a huge amount for us. We can do a lot with that, but that doesn't come around too often, so.
Was you around when they did the original interlock agreement back in '89?
I think I was 8 years old. Oh, it was 89. I thought it was 83. So I was 14, but most of them people have passed away on that.
I just noticed that even though the county takes care of like the Mormon Trail deal, the city maintained the liability for that. Do you know
Yes.
what the reason, was that a
I think
thing
that
that
was
the county
probably the
required, or
only
was?
way we got it. Yeah. Back then, so.
So most of your roads, you do your own maintenance?
So we move on.
Yeah, the only road Rush Valley is not responsible for is a state highway, which is our Highway 199. And then the county road, which is our main street at Mormon Trail and Meadow Lane, are county maintained. And they're more of an interconnector. We'd like to say that it's an interconnector for the county. So, you know, it hasn't come easy. They would love to give that road back to me, but there's no way $50,000 is gonna maintain Mormon Trail.
Well,
Yeah.
also, was it, I'd heard, I can't remember from who, that Vernon opted out of the county, and then the roads went to heck.
Yeah,
Now
so
they're trying to get back
so-
in. And
so
the county's
this-
saying,
word to the wise, take a trip out Vernon. That's county maintenance. I don't know if any of you've been out there.
I haven't been off the highway.
Take a little drive out there.
Terry, Jed had some comments on Vernon. Do you remember what that was? That
Well, it
they
was
had-
pretty much,
They had removed some roads from the maintenance and.
yeah, they took it out, and then when they got to super poor condition, they wanted them to come back in and fix them all up for them.
So, yeah, from what I understand, the county was taking Vernon's B and C road money. And they said, well, basically, you know, snow removal throughout the winter is about all it was paying, which that's hard to believe in a little small community. But, you know, road maintenance and upkeep is not cheap either, especially when you start talking about rebuild.
Mr. Johnson, from your point of view, if we were going to propose an interagency agreement with the county for our roads, would your current agreement with the county be a good template to use? And if so, what do you like about it? What would you change?
If it was me, I would probably try to update it. That agreement's over 30 years old now. We've kind of just left it alone. cause it's working. The responsibilities for Rush Valley, we've got some culverts, and some of them culverts are irrigation company, culverts. So we've felt like it would work for us, and we really haven't wanted to change it up. But, you know, I think what you need to do for sure is get a, you know, what you're gonna get out of it. I mean, there's not a lot in there as far as, detailed, you know, there's probably needs to be some more detailed information as far as, you know, what services and how much and what and when and all that. I would definitely get it in the details.
This was the old Jay Fitzwater era.
Jay Fitzwater, yeah, that was a long time.
Kelly Googler was the county commissioner.
I did have Ron Elton as an attorney at that time, and
Doug White was the town of Rush Valley attorney.
oh yeah, and maybe Ron was the county attorney, so that's probably why
Yeah, Ron Elton was the county.
that's why
Doug White was the Rush Valley.
that's why Rush Valley's liable.
You still use him? You still use him?
Ron?
Oh, Doug White.
No, we Doug's been gone for a long time.
So, can we ask you some other stuff then?
Yeah. So that Chris Potter, I mean, if it was me, I would lay out kind of what, visit with him and see what, you know, you need to come to the county and say, you know, this, we know we're gonna get this or whatever, you know. I think you could educated, decision at that point.
So like, for example, we have 43 miles of road.
Okay.
He could probably tell us pretty much what kind of
He's gonna have
revenue
a map with it all laid
we're
out,
gonna,
so.
His previous predecessor came up with an estimate of like $200 and something thousand.
this Chris Potter's?
No, the Twilla County guy, the one that was
Oh,
before
the head of the roads
before
department.
Bell, yeah. He came up with
$5,400 per mile or something like that.
Yeah, so, you know, and mine are narrow roads, you know, like 19 feet, some of them are even like 12 feet wide. We have some gravel, we have some, roto mill kind of improved, road, and they take all that into consideration. The state does when they're allocating that money back to you, so.
Okay, great. So tell us what you do for legal counsel.
It's been a challenge, but my recommendation is find a good one, somebody that's been preferably in the, government side of things.
our municipality.
We've currently got, a prosecuting attorney, and he's good, he's aggressive, but he's, you know, learning a lot too.
And what does he do for you?
So general, counsel advice, he does come to our meetings, and, you know, I've asked him, and that hadn't, the last one I had did not. He said, when you find out what the state requires of us, let me know and I'll write it up. And I, right in the agreement right in front, I asked him to let me know what is required of the state, because the state requires certain things to be done every year, that, from a legal standpoint, ordinances, resolutions, different things that, to keep everybody in line. And
Is he just on an hourly basis, or do you?
I pay him a monthly salary.
It's like a retainer deal.
It's not, it's not much, so.
Tons and tons, huh?
He's, basically, if projects demand more time, I would pay him an hourly fee.
Or is your treasurer and clerk full-time, or are they part-time?
I don't, no full-time employees. We have a clerk and a recorder. She functions both as the clerk and recorder.
Same person.
Yep, and, so she's gonna do our meeting minutes, agendas, all that kind of stuff. She actually is also, working with planning and zoning, and then, like building permits and all that stuff, which it's a lot. for
So
one
who
person.
does your building permits and your building inspection?
So we handle the paperwork side of it, but we have Ensign Engineering hired to do our, all the review, house inspection, building, all that kind of thing.
Is that pricey?
They just do it based on
Permit?
on permit fees, yeah, yep. And we, I don't know, at some point along the way, Rush Valley was doing a lot of that stuff as a kind favor to people that come to build a house. Ensign's like, man, you guys gotta, at least break even. So we've instituted some increases, fee increases. We haven't done any impact fees or anything like that, but now we're actually making a little on building and permit fees and stuff like that, where it's kind of involved, so.
Which is the larger role in terms of hours, your clerk recorder or your treasurer?
Definitely clerk recorder. So our treasurer, and I don't know what the state law is, but it's gonna require a separation with money coming in. So, the clerk and the treasurer, there's gotta be a separation there. And the treasurer's gonna handle the money, take it to the bank, deposits. Even though the recorder she can write checks and stuff like that, but that treasurer's gotta do the deposits, any transfers amongst the accounts and different things.
What bank do you use?
So we use Wells Fargo here in town. We've got it's called a PTIF, kind of a higher interest. So we'll, like our B&C road money, $50,000 isn't gonna get you much. By the time we get a contractor to come to Rush Valley, they won't even patch potholes for $50,000. So, we'll save up our money, and when there's enough in that fund to do a project worthwhile. So we've got a fund that's gonna generate some higher interest.
B&C road money, for some reason I thought that would go directly to the county for your interagency agreement. I guess that goes to you.
The portion, Mormon Trail and Meadow Lane, they take that money.
They're counting those miles, but you're counting some miles aside from that.
Yep, we count everything aside from Mormon Trail and Meadow Lane. Yep.
Okay, all right, that makes sense, thank you.
Let's see, it seems like a couple of other things we wanted to, what do you do about garbage collection, Brian?
It's on the county.
You're on the
We-
county contract?
Mhm. We pay, each homeowner pays their own fee, and the county administers that, so.
Does the county still own those garbage cans?
Yep. And the landfill, that, they administer everything. If you got a bad can or whatever, you just call them, and they'll come out and replace that. And so it's just through the county.
Okay.
But no contract with Rush Valley or anything else. It's individuals.
So they collect the money and everything, you don't have to mess with that.
Yeah, Rush Valley is hands off.
Sorry about what's gonna come to you.
Okay.
I talked with the garbage and the county attorney and the county council. They were all unaware that there was no contract anywhere. So, but it wasn't just you guys. They also didn't have a contract with Grantsville City for tipping fees. And they've said everybody in the county will come under contract by June.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's news to me.
Sorry about that.
sorry about that.
It's our fault.
Well, we can blame the new county council. So, I guess with that, at that point, will the cities administer their own and pay the county, or did they give you the details?
We're working out details on that.
Okay.
I'm hoping that, we follow the Rush Valley template here.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
That's how I see it.
Except for the liability.
Well, yeah, that's,
Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Johnson?
While we got him here, the sheriff's department does your policing, correct?
Yep.
Do you have any kind of agreement or contract with them either?
So, Stockton, they've wanted to contract with us, and come out and provide our services. And the county, they have a responsibility to, county sheriff has a responsibility to unincorporated and also where there's not a police force, available or feasible, they still have a responsibility. Now, that doesn't mean dog catcher, and I guess that's it, dog catcher. So I'm the dog catcher too in Rush Valley.
Not like the Mayor Grant's.
Yeah, that didn't work out for Mayor Brown.
Mayor Brown might have had a little different philosophy than
Let's see, here's something, one question I have, maybe you can help us with this, Brian. Do you have to set up a court system? What about speeding tickets or things like that?
Okay, so we don't issue, speeding tickets. That's all, it's either gonna be highway patrol or county patrol. But where we do use the court system is, like, so anybody in violation of our codes and ordinances, they would come and be prosecuted, with Judge Dow.
So that's here at the county.
Yep, and that's the other function of our attorney. He's, you know,
Prosecutor.
if somebody's in violation, then it's gonna come to the county court system.
I see, okay. Okay, that was a question I had later today, was we're gonna have to set up our own court system. So.
Stockton could give you some lessons.
Yeah.
They have some ropes and
I've heard
hair
of that.
and all that stuff that they wear, wigs.
I wouldn't think we would wanna do that unless we absolutely had to.
Yeah, there's probably some things that, you know, if you can use the services, then that are in place. But that's the beauty of what you guys are doing is, you know, you can kind of guide the path. So.
All right.
Well, the hard part is we didn't get to tap somebody on the shoulder and say, hey, we'll take it from here. It's like having to build from the ground up.
Yeah.
So.
I'm glad in 1977 they got Clover and St. John to get along long enough to.
No, I heard they still sat on opposite sides of the church. One sat closer to Clover that was from Clover, and the other side to St. John's.
So, yeah, it didn't come without its struggles, but it's pretty good now, so.
Okay, I think we let Mr. Johnson sit down.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay, yeah.
Appreciate
Thank you very
you
much.
helping us here.
You have some other things you wanna visit with me about, or what are you thinking?
We got your number.
Okay, I'm willing to chat. I can stick around if you want me to, or whatever you want to do.
You're welcome to, but don't feel like you need to.
Okay, awesome.
Roads are gonna
Thank
get
you.
worse before they get better.
Oh, yeah. No, less traffic going that way.
Thank you for making that drive for us. All right, any more comments on roads?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's move on to item B, police.
All right, I'll take this one for now if you don't mind.
Good idea.
I have talked with the mayor of Tooele and the mayor of Grantsville. At this time, either one of those two cities has interest or capabilities even to provide services for policing for Erda City, which really leaves us with the county sheriffs, which I think has provided great service for us. They have put a proposal forward that I'm very happy with, and I've shared it with the council. I'm not gonna go over exact numbers because this has to go to the county council for approval in the contract still, but the long and the short of it is it came in less money than we were expecting. So I'm very happy with the proposal that he's put forward, and we're gonna move that forward with the county and get that contract firmed up. It's for the current levels of service that we currently receive. And so I think that's a great way to move forward. It'll be a seamless transition. It should move very well.
And it's year to year, right?
And it's a year-to-year contract. We have, if we decide to cancel it or they decide to cancel it, we have to give 6 months' notice to the other party. That way they have 6 months to either scale down what they're doing, or we have 6 months to build something up or find a contract somewhere else if anyone wants to cancel it. It is a year-to-year contract, but it does have a 6-month severability clause in there. That's what we're proposing. That's what we're gonna move forward to the county council.
Nothing's actually drawn up. This is just,
There
What
is
you've
no
talked
contract
about.
in place. We need to deal with the county councilman. They are the ones that approve contracts. But there's a framework in place that us and Sheriff Wimmer have agreed to. And he's not the one that does the contracts, that's the county council. But we are in agreement with what it should look like moving forward.
anything else on police? Okay. We're gonna skip C, ordinance adoption for right now. We're gonna merge that with item H. So let's start on item D, articles of incorporation, map, and retirement letter. Councilman Martin, are you still with us? Okay. Unless you have anything to add later on, I was gonna let you go ahead and start and give us your update on the retirement letter, and then I'd take over on the map. Okay, thank you. All right, we have an engineer, Bruce Barker,
Oh, got yours.
Wasatch Civil Consulting and Engineering. The news that I have for you today is that this map is, we'll say nearly complete, if not complete. This may be the final draft. Unless I get an email later tonight, this will be the map. And just so you know, there are copies here on this table. I know you can't read them without a microscope, but this is the map that I intend to submit to the county tomorrow, along with just some paperwork that they require, establishing our name, the city of Erda. The fees for this did reach the cap of $4,500, which we've all agreed to pay a portion of. And hopefully pending reimbursement after incorporation. So there's that. I'm not exactly sure what to expect when I show up at the office tomorrow. They may be requesting immediate payment. They might be requesting a down payment. I don't know what to expect. So I'm bringing my credit card and checkbook, and we'll just see what happens. I should have some sort of a verbal agreement from everybody. I really don't know what to expect. I've got a guess from Bruce. He says this map is just top notch and really good, and he doesn't expect many problems with it. He thinks that perhaps the county ought to be able to do this for $1,000. I'm also hearing that amount would be entirely unprecedented for a map this scale. So I think the cost for submitting this to the county could range from 4 to 5 figures. So I guess what I'm asking for is, do we still have commitment from the 4 of us to kick in money to cover that? Kind of dividing the risk amongst us, saying
Sure.
if incorporation falls through, we're not gonna get reimbursed for that.
One word of warning, because I did talk with Jerry Houghton about this today. And I'm more than happy to pay my share of this map that we've had done, but the county's review of this map, until he gets it, he won't be able to figure out how much it even is. But he estimated it at $116,000
To do the map.
for him to do the review of the map. I had tried to,
Is that US?
that was even US. It was a good thing I was sitting down because I may have fallen over, but, and he said the county has a fee schedule and ordinance in place that he doesn't have a choice in what he charges there. They'll go through, they'll assess the parcels. There was, I think he said at least 1,500 different parcels in here that he had to go through and redo. So it was, it was gonna be a big job, and he can't waive that fee. He says, I can't, but the county council can. Or they can make payment arrangements or whatever they decide to do. But he said, we have to deal with them on that. I was hoping to talk to county councilman today, but I haven't been able to find any. So that is some,
Scott and I'll add that to our list for next Tuesday.
that's something that we need to see what the county council will do. I would love it if they waived the fee altogether. Hopefully that's what they'll do, but without talking to them, I don't know. It's entirely possible they could say pay it up front.
Well, the county has a work session next Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and Scott and I are going to attend to go over issues like that.
It'd probably be good to start discussions before that.
Probably right. Yeah, probably right. So,
Credit limit on my credit card doesn't quite reach $116,000.
I have 3 of them do that.
Tomorrow, we'll just see what happens.
Well, the long and the short of it is we need to get this map from the surveyor and get it to the county to get it in process. We'll get it to them and then they will put together the fee structure, but we need to get this from the surveyor and to the county to keep it
They'll
moving.
accept an IOU.
And then let the chips fall where they do there, but we need to keep it moving and not stall it anywhere at this point.
And my understanding is the county surveyor is the only one that can certify this. Is that right?
Correct.
It seems to be correct for state law.
And so, and that's, he kind of explained a little bit. I got a simple mind and I won't remember everything. He has to go in every parcel, change every parcel number, change the taxing districts, put the different layers of the different taxing districts and voting districts into it. He says, so every parcel physically has to be touched by us and modified. And he says, that's why it's such a big job and takes such a long time.
But aren't they currently changing it's the 10-year deal where they're changing like the election areas and stuff like that? Is that gonna affect the map any?
Not what he's doing for us, no. I think it's imperative that we get this map to the county as soon as possible and not have any delays there, because he can't even come up with the fee schedule until he sees the map and starts running the analysis of it.
I think that, well, I don't want to weigh in on whether this is possible by the 16th or not. You can make that judgment yourself, but I would propose that, as we're start approaching the 16th, if we don't, have an approval from the county yet, that we submit to the state what we do have, with a note that it has
Pending
perhaps
final
not
approval.
pending approval from the county.
I think that's what we'll have to do.
Councilman Martin, just for the record, if we don't have an approved map by the county into the state by the 16th, what's gonna happen? What's the precedent for filing paperwork like this, after the due date?
Do you know if it's called a side map, or could it be just the map? Does it have to be specifically a certified map, or just proposed map?
What I'm getting, what I'm getting at here, Cale, is has there been precedents of, extensions on things like this from the state? Okay. All right. I did hear from the sponsors council, Janet Conway, today that, I don't know if it applies directly, but there has been a similar situation for, I think it was an annexation, and it took several years after the due date. And as long as paperwork kept and communication kept coming in, that the case remained open and was finally approved by the state years later. So I think we're gonna be okay. Okay. All right. Well, Cale, thank you for your efforts on this. And look, here we are. We've got our stamped map, so we've made quite a bit of progress here. All right. Any other comments on this item?
Yeah, so you're going in tomorrow, turn this in. So you'll actually be face to face with a real person.
Hopefully.
See what they say.
Yeah.
And while you're there, ask them if they have any, options to assist us with this incorporation as we move forward. It sounds like they won't be able to certify this map for us, but there may be services that they can offer to us, as just part of their function in their office.
Okay.
And get her or his, whoever you speak to, opinion on this certified map. The council that I received when I brought that up with, that day that I sat with the council for the League of Cities and Towns, and the advice he gave me was, talk to the Lieutenant Governor's office and get their direction. It seems like one leverage point we have here is this certified map by state statute was to be turned in before the application to even vote on whether we're going to incorporate or not. And the Lieutenant Governor's office accepted the application without that map. So,
It's my understanding that a map was submitted.
but not a certified map.
Whether it was certified or not, one annexation did complete, between the time that map was submitted and now, and that was the north annexation. It's my understanding that
That's my understanding too. But state statute still called for a certified map before the election. And the state and the Lieutenant Governor's office accepted the application without the certified map. So this might not be the most politically correct way to say this, but they're kind of in fault at this also. So they're at fault here too. So it seems like we have a certain amount of leverage to say, you've got to give us time to get this map done.
Certified or not, there was changes made, so whether that was certain, we'd still have to.
Yeah,
do
well, it wasn't certified.
Jerry Howard would have known.
If it had been certified before.
Well, like I said, that's kind of moot because there was changes made, so.
I
Right.
think what Scott's saying is they accepted it without a certified map. They should accept this without certified map. Under the same precedence, they accepted it the first time and give us time to get the certification in.
Right. Right.
Had they, the first time said, no, we won't do it without certification, we wouldn't be in this boat, and they're the ones that put us here, and so hopefully they'll let us row it into shore.
Yeah.
Well, we would, because there was changes made, so we'd have to get it recertified.
No, because you couldn't have voted on that map if changes were made to a certified map. They wouldn't have let you change it. So this all boils down to your conversation tomorrow. If they give you the indication that, yeah, we'll give you 2 weeks, we need to know that because this is not gonna be certified in 2 weeks. Didn't Jerry say it was like 6 months or something like that, or? Well, no, he said 3.
He estimated it at 6 to 8 weeks, but
Oh,
that is also just an estimation.
So that's our narrow, 6 to 8 weeks is our best estimate. Is that me?
I'm not sure who it is.
No, either.
But are we gonna hand in that map with the retirement paper at the same time, even though it's not certified? Is that not correct?
Is that what you're thinking, Jess? You're gonna hand
Sorry, I
in
was
the map?
distracted by a microphone.
You're gonna hand in the map and the letter of the retirement and all that at the same time?
No,
Tomorrow.
the retirement letter is a state thing. Tomorrow I'm handing in, let me get these out.
It's about going to Lieutenant Governor's office.
By the
tomorrow, handing
16th, won't
to
we?
the county
Hand in
recorder
what we
tomorrow.
got?
So this is annexation and final local entity review form, which is signed by all of us for the map. And then this is simply a statement of, I believe this is a statement of our name. City of Erda. This
that's
goes,
going to the
this
coun-
goes with the map to, yes, to
To the
the,
Lieutenant Governor's office?
No,
to the county.
Oh,
But what I'm saying
geez,
is.
I thought all this time you were gonna see the Lieutenant Governor's office
Coming
face
right
to
back
face.
here tomorrow morning.
Oh,
But on the 16th, are we gonna give
Rats.
them the map that we have, certified or not, just so they have a map?
Yes.
Well, I think it's open for discussion, but I say we do.
On the
Yeah, I would
16th, we give
We
them everything
what we
have.
got pending certification.
Yeah, we give them everything we have to the point to which we have it done. I know it's incomplete homework, but it's better than not turning in anything.
so who's gonna do that? Who's gonna actually carry that in and hand it to them?
Either me or Ken.
The chairman has to turn that
He
in.
says the chairman has to do it, so I guess it's me.
Okay, but you will be face to face at some point with the Lieutenant Governor's office and you
Yeah.
can say,
And,
what's,
and Kel's talked with them quite a bit, haven't you, Kel?
What'd you say her name was? What'd you say her name was?
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion on item D? Okay, seeing none. We'll move on to item E, which is IT. I guess I'll start by asking if there's any questions, comments, discussion on this. Otherwise, we'll move straight to the grammar request item. Okay, we've had our first grammar request. We need to, I think it's prudent that we assign a responder to this, someone who can speak for the council, someone who is responsible for collecting the records and delivering them. And so I would propose that we vote on this. I would open it now to nominations.
Yeah, it does seem a lot like our IT guy that runs the email service that we have and has access would probably be the guy to pull all our grammar requests, so. I'll make a formal motion that we appoint Jess Bird as the temporary record responder and give him authorization to respond to these until what time we can hire a clerk to do this for us.
Second.
What do you think, Jess?
I'm willing to do it.
He doesn't have a choice in this
I've
now.
been-
I knew what I was doing, I would stop it.
Mine's off.
Mine's off, so.
I borrowed yours.
Do you think it's that one?
I think so, yeah. So we've got a,
It's not on. Oh, you turned it on.
we've got a nomination and a second. Nominating me to be the temporary records responder. The only thing I would add to that is that I would be authorized to do the searching, the compilation, and that this would be, I would be able to respond and do this on behalf of the council.
I can accept that amendment.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second by Terry Minor, okay. All right, motion on the table is that Jess Bird will be the temporary records responder for the City Council of Erda. He is authorized to respond to these grammar requests, search any and all information pertinent to the grammar requests, and that he is authorized to do so for the entire council. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And are there any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, I'll be your records responder, and I believe we've got a few days left to respond to this current grammar request. I will get that done sometime over the next few days
14th, I think.
before the due date. Any questions, comments on IT or grammar requests? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item F, which is attorney.
So, Terry and I have been collecting resumes and proposals. We only have 4 so far. You know what they are, right? Do you need? We have Hayes and Godfrey and Bell. We have Scott Shields, who grew up in Erda, and we have Blaisdell Church and Johnson, and we have Janet Conway. So, we're certainly not ready to move ahead, and this got complicated, earlier this week when I was chatting, with Dave Judd, and he thought we ought to, not only for this, but maybe for other things, put out one of these. It's called a request for proposal.
For legal.
And he kind of drew up just an example of what this would look like.
We got a copy of Blandings as well.
Okay, didn't see that one. Anyway, so what we need to know is,
Where do we advertise?
yeah, do we wanna put this out in the newspaper? Do we wanna, is there on a network in the internet that does this kind of stuff?
There is a network for RFP from government agencies.
Okay,
I know there is one, but I don't know what it is or where it is, but I do know there is one.
but like somebody at the county would know, would probably be able to,
Yes.
okay? So, in one of these, proposals, apparently, we lay out exactly what we're looking for. As far as, legal services, what kind of legal services, scope of services here it talks about. This is a pretty detailed, request for services. So do we know, or should Terry and I just, search out what kind of scope we want for our legal counsel?
So on an RFP, Terry has one here. Blanding City sent one out a year or so ago for an attorney, and I was sent a copy of it, and I shared it, Terry, with everyone.
Okay,
It'd be in your email. You'll get there.
yeah,
On an RFP, we can ask for anything we want, but we don't have to take everything we ask for. We can make a large list but then we can pick and choose what we want off that list. It's not once we put it out, we have to contract that. It's just a list for proposals of, can you fill this need? Can you fill that need? It can be as simple or complex as we want it to be. Blandings is much simpler than the one you have there. But like I say, we largely can make it what we want.
Well, and some of the proposals we've received, there's a couple that are extremely specific and go item to item, pretty much everything that is required.
Yeah, a couple of them already have answers to everything we would have on that.
right, so where I'm headed with this is, we probably need to do this for, I don't know, a week or so before we say, okay, we're ready to choose counsel.
I would say,
I think we need money first.
Well-
we need money, but,
Well, but we don't wanna wait until we have money.
But it's kind of hard to hire somebody on monopoly money.
I think we ought to do an RFP, for really anyone we contract with. I do believe it's a matter of legality and
That's
state
what I was
law.
thinking.
I don't have a whole lot of details on that, other than we probably ought to do it. We ought to find out, where these need to be posted and get it posted just as quickly as possible. One thing we could do in this meeting, as a suggestion, we could vote to authorize you, the legal counsel, and maybe you already have this authorization, being the legal committee, to come up with the RFP and submit it. Another idea would be you propose an RFP and circulate it in email, and we sign off on it that way, and you submit it.
I think we should all get the council's input in it.
Yeah, I would prefer that way.
Okay. The one thing I would not recommend is that we wait until business meeting 2 weeks from now to actually submit that RFP.
That makes sense to me.
Any comments on that?
So I think you probably are authorized to put an RFP together. If you email it to us and get approval to send it out, I think we could get it sent out and discuss it in the work meeting and move forward with an attorney in the next business meeting.
I just hope they don't get us for plagiarism, because we'll probably cut and paste a lot of stuff.
Well,
Well, maybe if we just retype it all over again, it won't be plagiarism.
Okay, are we content with that? We're gonna circulate